Hello and welcome to The Big Picture. For the last 1 week nearly, Central Delhi has witnessed unprecedented anger, frustration and unfortunately violence too over the rape of a young woman in a moving bus. What started as a spontaneous expression by young people, large number of them being students, soon assumed rather dangerous proportions when the mob fury on police and public property went out of control. What explains this sudden expression of anger on the streets of Delhi? Why the young people are so emotionally charged? Is there a rationale behind their demands for immediate justice? What is the psychology behind this uprising? Where did the police go wrong? Has the government's delayed reaction fueled further anger? Are such protests going to be a regular feature in our country? Or is this a one-off situation? How is the government expected to tackle such situations? And is a stiffer law the panacea for preventing such incidents in future? We will discuss all this today with T.R. Kakkar, former Delhi Police Commissioner, Sucheta Day, former President of the Students' Union at JNU, Nalini Singh, senior journalist. Welcome to all of you. Nalini, I would first like to come to you. Isn't this an unprecedented situation which we have seen? What was so different about this incident that it has created this kind of a upsurge and a reaction?
I think it's not created, it's actually brought to the surface, and students will not retreat now, or at least not retreat easily. The two things, one is the brutality of the rape. One of them has said that at the end of the rape he saw some rassi, some rope emanating from the girl, and he thought ki kisi ne rassi chhod di, somebody left some ropes there, so he pulled it. Those were her intestines. Those are the intestines. So that brutality of the rape. The second thing is, students are able to connect it to the arrogance of the privileged ruling classes of our society. The dispensation just now also. These people are politicians, and the privileged people who are in touch with the politicians and therefore are part of the ruling class are living in their LBZ Delhi fortresses. And what's really happening is, what's really alarming is that this ruling class has mistaken tactics for strategy. So you see the police, the vicious police reaction, another kind of viciousness which you've seen there, the nailed boot. You also see that all those prohibitory pictures, orders and all that. Now that's part of the tactics, because I think at the moment the ruling dispensation is clueless about the strategy, because they're clueless about the analysis of what is behind this. Yes. So when, I don't want to take your time further, let the other guests say, but when we come to the analysis, it's actually really boils down to one. Our society is a society based on exploitation, and the government's architecture is based on that society of exploitation.
Sucheta Day, I would like to come to you.
Yes.
Sucheta, you as a student leader, somebody who is participating in these protests also very actively in the last few days.
Yes.
What is there in the minds of all of you when you started coming out on the streets? What is the brutality of all this which has created this spontaneous uprising, as Nalini Singh says, or is there something more to it?
I think it's the everyday brutality to women which has given rise to this enormously big protest. It's the everyday brutality. And I think, when I say this, I'll also try to talk about the major demands that this protest is mainly carrying forward this time. I think every day, every woman in Delhi and in most parts of the country will tell you that when they go out of their home, what kind of experience they feel. If, comments are thrown at them, they're molested, they're harassed. When they go to the police station, in how many times FIRs are filed? Most of us would tell you that when you go to the police station, the police would take it very lightly and there is no FIR. So we think the first thing is a huge gender sensitization of the entire security mechanism, the officials, the workers, the army, the CRPF, everybody of them, so that they don't trivialize cases of sexual harassment. Secondly, I think the judicial system also needs huge reform. We need fast-track courts. We need it now. And at the same time, we have seen judgments in this country where the judge would tell the rapist to marry the rape victim. On the one hand, when a woman is raped, her dignity is infringed upon, and on the second instance, her agency, her agency to take decision for her own life is insulted when a judge says that you have to marry the rapist. Thirdly, I think our parliamentarians, now they have to be accountable. We cannot have parliamentarians who throw gender insensitive comments endlessly. Like, our own Chief Minister Sheila Dixit, she teaches the women not to be adventurous. Sushma Swaraj says that a rape victim is like a living dead body. We don't agree with this. At the same time, if our parliament, they claim that is a representative body, they have to call a special session of the parliament to debate on these issues, to discuss on these issues, and they have to now come out with the sexual assault bill. They have to talk to the women's movement. There are many problems with the sexual assault bill that has to be amended, and they have to talk to the women's movement. And thirdly, I think if our government structure is sensitive to half of the society, there has to be a gender sensitization at every level of the society.
Right.
In school education, at the level of security mechanism. I mean, when we talk about the sexual assault bill, we all know about Armed Forces Special Power Act, right? In many places where there is Armed Forces Special Power Act, if the army rapes women, they have complete impunity. And that is absolutely unacceptable.
Okay. I'll come back to you, Sucheta. Just let me go to the former Delhi Police Commissioner, Mr. Kakkar. Mr. Kakkar, you heard both the voices. From what Sucheta is saying and what Nalini said. See, one thing, and what we have been reading also about the Delhi police force itself. Is there a lack of gender sensitivity among the Delhi police force itself?
Now let me talk about the incident first.
Yes.
What happened to this girl and her friend is definitely condemnable, and it really was a very shameful thing which has happened. Now the question is, an incident has taken place.
Right.
We have to find immediate remedies and long-term remedies. Immediate remedies are that, all right, the culprits are caught, they are put behind the bars, which has been done. Long term, why I am saying is because let people be afraid of committing such crimes in the future, and if our social activists think that by amending the law and imposing death penalty on such criminals, well, it is up to the society. I have nothing to say. For which the government has to be prepared, and the government has given indications that they are prepared to change the law, they are prepared to fast track the court, they are also prepared to fix up a time limit.
Mr. Kakkar,
no, I am coming to that.
I am talking, we will come to the death penalty issue, we'll come to that a little later, but I want you are part of the Delhi police, you headed the Delhi police. Please tell us what is it that has gone wrong? Is there a gender insensitivity among the Delhi police, and if it is there, why is it there?
See, police is there to maintain order. Now, unfortunately, as far as long as it is the right of every citizen to agitate, it is there in the constitution, you can agitate, but you have to agitate peacefully. But once such agitations turn violent, by maybe some people are instigating them, some people have come in between and they are trying to create problems. Look. So the police has to act.
Mr. Kakkar, I'm talking about. You are talking about the consequence. I'm talking about the problem. What is the problem with the Delhi police? Can you analyze what is their problem? There is a huge insensitivity. There is no doubt about it.
There is no major problem with the Delhi police. The problem, if at all it is there, it needs a bit more sensitization. But if people turn violent, then police has to act. The police cannot be a silent spectator, because otherwise who is going to stop all this?
No, Mr. Kakkar, nobody is denying that. Nobody is denying that. Nobody is denying the fact that, when things turn violent, police have to act, but how they should act and, to what extent they should act is a matter of debate. But, you're still not answering my question. Is there a serious gender insensitivity problem among the Delhi police? Anyway, let me get Nalini Singh in on this. I'll come back to you. Nalini?
Yeah, the answer to your question is that maybe there is a little bit of a gap in gender sensitivity. I'm saying little because actually what the police is doing is ask the powerful people in our country. The powerful people feel very protected.
Absolutely.
The defenseless feel very vulnerable. That's what the police is supposed to do.
Right.
So they are doing that. So don't ask if there is a female who is powerful, a female politician or a female somebody else who is powerful, ask her if she doesn't feel protected. She feels extremely protected. So actually it goes back to the way the government is structured, and police is an arm of the government. Maybe the nailed boot of the government, but it's an arm of the government. So how is the government coming in here? The government perpetuates privilege. It works on precedent, it works on procrastination. Procrastination will be to discredit and delay. Then it also works on concentrating power. And what the students are showing you today is that this concentration of power, which is the symptom of which is these red lights, flashing red lights, and precedent to the powerful in everything, that this is not going to work. The students are saying we will not accept that. The soft India, because it suits the government, the architecture is built on that. The soft India, the unaccountable India, the nothing happens here India. This is the India that the students are saying that they will absolutely not accept anymore. And that's why they have shifted the focus, or at least enlarged the focus from rape, in this case, to inaction.
To
inaction,
absolutely.
And absolutely to inefficiency, inaction and survival. So the students are saying this is not the India we want. We will change this India. They are asking for that.
Sucheta, is this a larger, is it larger than this incident? Is the anger, is the frustration, is the demands of the students, why very perfectly normal students who would otherwise be found in malls and places like that suddenly lands up, and also in colleges, they all land up on Rajpath, walk right up to the Rashtrapati Bhavan, which has not happened for a very long time in Delhi. So is there a larger, as Nalini was pointing out, is there a larger concern rather than just about this rape?
Precisely. I think, as I told earlier also, this is in anger, which has a long history. And when the students and the young India, the so-called young India, has gathered in front of Rashtrapati Bhavan, they're definitely trying to challenge something. And they're trying to definitely challenge power, which is unjust. And in this context, which is absolutely unjust to women, which is absolutely unjust to half of the society. And that can be seen at every aspect of life. As I was talking about, let us talk about our parliament. Our Prime Minister says that I can afford every risk. I can do whatever for passing the FDI bill, and they have done so. But what about the women's reservation bill? It has not been passed yet. So what about the sexual violence, sexual assault bill? It is pending. They are not talking to the women's movement. So I think the young India is challenging power, which is unjust to the people, and in this context, unjust to the women.
Okay, Sucheta. I mean, that's interesting. Yes, Mr. Kakkar, you wanted to react to what Nalini and Sucheta said. Mr.
Yeah,
Kakkar?
I wanted to react, I wanted to react to the previous speaker. I only want to second. You see, the question is, this incident has taken place which has aroused people once again. But they have many more grouses. Now, she herself was mentioning
absolutely.
Some people are so powerful that with red lights they are moving. Others have the escorts. They don't feel at all the pinch of any insecurity of anything.
Right.
So all these frustrations have come to the fore in this incident, and there may be many more issues on which people want an answer. People want equality. Now that must be addressed by the larger political leaders. That why such an incident has brought about this sort of situation, because so many factors have combined now, and therefore the entire system and delivery of justice, delivery of services needs to be looked into by somebody.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Girish, I was also
I want to go into a break, but you can quickly.
Certainly, with your permission, I just want to say we cannot just beat the government alone, the government structure.
Absolutely.
Look at our society. It's a society which is based on, which has a huge amount of illiteracy, and I'm not talking about just reading and writing. I'm talking about training of the mind, trained minds. I'm talking of iron self-restraint. These things come from real education. Now, I would of course take it back to the ruling parties. 65 years, the Congress party has ruled us for about 55 of those or 53 of those. Other parties have ruled. What have they done? Is this the literacy level that 6 goons or illiterate goons can get together and do this to a girl in a moving bus and also make her boyfriend unconscious? Now, I just want to say, illiteracy, and it is based on an extremely unchallenged or challenged very little precept that males are superior.
Absolutely.
And also, you know,
this is where you're
but
absolutely
you know, also
right.
I just want to say that we have a very feudal society.
Absolutely, we are still a feudal society. I'll come to you, Sucheta. We need to go into a short break now. We'll come back and continue this discussion. There are many other things. The problem which lies within the society. That is where we need to focus on and discuss. We'll come back very soon. Please keep watching. Welcome back. We are discussing what is happening in Delhi for the last several days and asking the question, why is the anger spilling onto the streets? Mr. Kakkar, the question is, how do police react in these kind of situations? Don't you think in this particular instance, if we take this particular instance, they acted in a very heavy, high-handed manner? The kind of pictures which were being shown on the television to everybody, that also fueled further anger. Don't you think that they could have acted in a more restrained manner? I mean, is this the way police, or is it just that, you know, some policemen get attacked or things like that, they are out to take revenge on them? Is that the attitude?
Please permit me to say that for the first 5 days, when everything was going on peacefully, and there are thousands of them, but things were peaceful, the police showed utmost restraint, sensitivity, and therefore they did not do anything. They, on the contrary, were interacting as intermediaries between the agitators and the government.
Right.
But it is only on the 6th day when something suddenly happened, people turned violent. When anybody turns violent, the police has to perform a role, and that role,
there is absolutely
the minimum is water cannons, and then the next is
water cannon is fine, but you know, the kind of lathi charge which they did, with the kind of vengeance which they were displaying.
Lathi charge. You see, if the water cannons have been, if a decision has been taken to get the entire area vacated at some level of the government or of the police commissioner, then things have to be done in a progressive manner.
Okay.
First is the minimum,
okay.
then you have the
tear
gas, then you have the lathis, and then you have ultimately something else.
Okay, Mr. Kakkar, I want...
I know. The police has to be sensitive.
The hierarchy. No, I understand.
Police has to be sensitive,
yes,
and make sure that not much injuries are caused. They have to use the minimum force.
No, Mr.
And
Mr. Kakkar,
in that there can be some aberrations. There can be some aberrations.
There have been aberrations in this case. Anyway, Mr. Kakkar, I want you to address a larger issue. What kind of training or on-job training do these policemen get? Is there some, you know, gender sensitivity training? Is there, you know, is there some counseling done for the lower level police force? You know, what kind of measures do the Delhi police take? to tackle such situations?
See, while they are initially recruited,
Yes.
and they are, among other things, they are also trained on the gender sensitizations. Even when they are progressively, for every promotion, for everything, that they have to go through courses which include how to deal with members of the public, how to deal with the weaker section, as we call it, or how to deal with women. All these things are being addressed, and the training is being imparted. But don't forget that these policemen also come from the same household from where the students and other people are coming.
Girish, we must
It is the
contest
society as a whole which needs improvement. And once society improves, the policemen will also improve. You cannot expect the policemen to be very much different from the society that we are in.
Yes, Nalini.
I would like to respond
I would say in what...
Yes, Sucheta, 1 second. Let Nalini respond first. I'll come to you.
Just to say this, that in what Mr. Kakkar is saying is actually the manual, the police manual, because here the unwritten rule is that there are 3 classes in society: the privileged and the powerful, and you are actually for them. Those are the
you are serving them
they will
most
get
of the time.
priority. The second is the
no.
1 second, Mr. Kakkar, please 1 second. Then the second class is that's the privileged class. Second is males, and the bottom class, what is called the cattle class by some politicians, is the women. So please kindly look just now at the law passed in Parliament 12 days ago. The police is just made up of the same, as he's saying. The constituency is the same, it's India. Parliament has passed a law 12 days ago that there is nothing called rape of your wife, that it's only if she is below 16 that she can be raped. Otherwise, whether it is her consent or not, you cannot rape her.
Okay,
so therefore, this is, we are talking about a very hierarchical society and a hierarchical police.
Sucheta, there is a larger issue. You also mentioned earlier. The issue is of how the society looks at all these things. We are still a very male-dominated society. Even I'm sure among the student communities also, this problem keeps coming up all the time. Is there a serious discussion? Do you think that the mindset of the students at least is changing as far as this is concerned?
I think you are right that in the society as well, we need a larger change. But while I say so, I would like to respond to Mr. Kakkar.
Yes.
He has been talking about a larger change, which is, I think, the society itself. It's going when the young men and women, all of us are on the streets. I think we ourselves are in a churning process. We are debating this. When I am talking on this television and people on the streets are talking about gender sensitization, justice to women, we are in a churning process. But at the same time, in the name of this larger issues, the police cannot wash out its hands of its own responsibilities, right? There is a need of a larger change, but the police cannot say that our responsibility is not there because the society is patriarchal.
No,
the
certainly
police
not.
Has a responsibility to be gender
Certainly
sensitive.
not. I'm
and
sure.
The training of gender sensitivity is not is not out of their duty. It's a very much a part of their duty. If they are getting paid for safety and security, they have to be gender sensitive.
Sucheta, we are running out of time. I want you to respond to this. There are, in these last few days, which we are seeing a lot of protests and a lot of demands being made. Some of them, some of them sound very irrational in the context of how laws are made, who should make laws and things like that. There seems to be a demand for instant justice. You think this is a very healthy sign?
Sorry, what?
There is a demand for instant justice. People, the students, the people out there on the streets want instant justice. Is this a healthy sign in a democracy?
Look, what is rational and what is irrational, I think, that is not the essence of the protest. If somebody is demanding for on-the-hand justice, I think that is not the essence of the protest. Let us not pick up something which is not the essence of the protest. The anger is a long-run anger. The long-run anger because of the non-responsiveness of the government. The government has not been responding very responsibly. But our demand is that there should be fast-track courts. The government has to talk to women's movement and amend their own sexual violence bill. Why is not marital rape still a part of the law? Marital rape has to be considered.
Sucheta,
Yes.
Mr. Kakkar, do you think the changes in law, stiffer punishments, is the solution to this problem?
Sorry,
Mr. Kakkar.
But the law, if they want to amend the law, let them amend the law and provide
in your experience,
penalty they ask.
In your experience,
in my opinion, it is no, because the society. We have death sentence for murder. Have we stopped murders?
Absolutely.
We have not.
Okay.
The point is, all of us have to change. Let us look at ourselves, like the Vivekananda said.
Right.
Let us look at ourselves and improve ourselves first.
Okay.
Improve
Nalini,
the society before
last
we
words to you.
really
Do you
ask
think
anything else.
I think that's philosophical. If you just try,
harsher laws.
Harsher action. You know, I was talking to you about the fact that we are illiterate, we are also feudal. There are all these deeper questions, and I want to ask you, where are our politicians?
Absolutely.
Where is Ajay Makhan? Where is Mahabal Mishra? These are Mahabal Mishra is Mahipalpur, if I am not mistaken, Mahipalpur, a member of parliament. Ajay Makhan is Central Delhi, where this is. I want to ask you, is the disconnect so enormous now, complete, between the politicians and the students?
Absolutely.
That is the citizenry.
Okay.
So it is a huge
there is a disconnect. We have completely run out of time, but the fact is that there is a huge disconnect between the ruling class and the people. We have been witnessing these kind of protests on the streets. This is the most unprecedented and very, very shocking and alarming situation which we have seen. But the fact of the matter, as Nalini said, is that there is a disconnect, and the political class and the ordinary people, that disconnect needs to be bridged. And apart from that, various things which Sucheta said is also very relevant here. Thanks to all my guests. Thank you, Mr. Kakkar, Sucheta Day, Nalini Singh. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue on The Big Picture, same time tomorrow.